In this video, I am going to show you how to draw with better accuracy for contour line drawings using what's called the 3G's. You can really use this for any type of drawing, but especially when you're just starting out with contour lines. This is going to help you to be more accurate. So I would encourage you to take a minute, pause the video, and write down these terms that I have for you here. See if I can make my camera. You guys are going to have to excuse the lack of quality in my video production here. I am working from home and the lighting's not good, but I'm going to do the best I can. So notice that the 3G's are geometry, guides, and gestures. And I'm just going to explain them really briefly. You're going to look for geometry in any object that you're drawing. You guys are going to be drawing from an image, and because I have a plant here at home, that's what I'm going to be drawing from, and you can see that cactus there. Geometry says that if you can draw a circle, rectangle, and triangle, and then you can identify those shapes in whatever it is that you're drawing, you can use that as a guide to be more accurate. So I'm going to demo that for you. Guides, again, you can use your geometry as guides. You can also use like actual markers or lines of symmetry to be more accurate. This is something that we'll get into more in the next project. And then gestures. Gestures are quick sketches. I'm going to go ahead and write down that definition. They are quick sketches. A lot of times when we draw, we think we need to be perfect from the start. And with gestures, you just do a quick sketch and then you go back and you perfect that. You use your areas that could need improvement. You use those as almost like a guide for what not to do, and then you can also draw off of them and morph your contours. That's my phrase. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into it, but do make sure that you have copied down those terms. As I mentioned, the video production's struggling, but I'm on a little handheld tripod, so I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to try and brighten it up. I've already drawn a circle for the shape of the pot. This is just to kind of show you placement. I'm not going to draw everything that's in this plant, this cactus and succulent, but I am going to just kind of give you a general idea of the main part of the cactus here. So when I get started, I'm going to look for geometry, and I can definitely see that around the edges, if I were to draw any basic shape around this top of the cactus, it would be a circle. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. For the leaves, I can see both like a rectangular shape and then also a triangular shape on the top. So it would be a combination if I were to draw all the leaves. Now, the thing to know is that I'm starting out with a big, simple shape, like a circle, rectangle, or triangle, and then I'm going to morph that into a more complex shape, and then I'm going to add details. So when I draw, I tend to work from the bigger shapes down to the medium shapes, and then the smaller shapes, and then finally like the tiniest details. So remember, a contour line is really descriptive of what's happening in the exterior and also the interior of your subject. So let me go ahead and get started. I think that placement, let's see, it's right about here. So I'm gonna draw a circle. Now circles are kind of hard to draw, honestly. And so what I do is I just kind of keep drawing the circle. Like I let my hand keep making a circle until I find a shape that I like. And then I erase out what I don't like. So that'll be up to you. This is a bit of an awkward angle here. I'm like standing to make this happen, but I'm gonna do the best that I can. That's what you should do too. The good news is this is an organic plant object, and no two plants are gonna look the same, so if it's not perfect, that's okay too. I went ahead and started with this shape, and then I have this like little small part of the cactus that's over here on the side. I'll just kind of draw that there. It's kind of overlapping, and I can make it overlap later. So now I'm gonna start drawing what I see as like triangles almost on the interior of this circle. I'm gonna use my circle as a guide for creating those triangles. So what I see is that like right here at the top, I have these like triangular shapes. Sometimes it dips in a little further. Let's see, I think that's more of that angle. This one's more abrupt. And I'm just kind of moving around the edge, following along. Like sometimes it helps to actually like take your finger and like trace as you draw. It might help it to be more accurate for whatever it is that you are drawing. This one comes down here. It's got like this end. Looks like maybe I drew my circle a little big, so I'm gonna chop it off a little bit right here. to this side now. Yeah, because this actually is supposed to run into the small part of the cactus. But you know what? This is a great example of gesture. Like, this is where I'm going to make adjustments to my quick sketch to make it more accurately describe the object, you know? So I'm gonna end up moving this over. I'm gonna erase this. That was my quick sketch. It wasn't in the right spot. So I'm gonna move it over. I'm gonna erase out the circle now because I just used it as a guide. This is why you wanna draw really light. Notice I'm using my mechanical pencil. You should do the same. And then I need to bring this back over here. Let's see, I think it was on, this one isn't, that shape isn't quite right, but it kind of comes up more like that. This one is right about here. The circular little cactus. All right, so now what I'm gonna do for this is I am going to start to perfect my contour as I go, but I'm also gonna add in these little lines of the sharp little areas on the cactus. And I'm gonna start out using a line as a guide. I see that they're in a line, but I'm ultimately gonna add them in, the little circles. But for now, I'm just using lines as guides to place those little circles. There we go. So I have that as a start. Now I'm gonna go in with these little circles. They go all the way to the end. You see how you can, this one's kind of separated. You want to try to be accurate to the object as much as possible. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start to kind of adjust my contour a little bit. Like some of the corners have actual shadows, and to identify that shadow, I'm going to just kind of outline the shadow instead of actually drawing, or shading it in. I'm going to, I just outline the shadow here in the center, and I think it's kind of like a triangular shape a little bit in the center. So I'm going to add that in. So you want to add in as many details as possible, even highlights and shadows. You can see there's a shadow on this right here, kind of goes this direction. So I'm going to add that in. I'm going to go back and clean up, my contour where it needs to be cleaned up a little bit, maybe it wasn't accurate enough. So I'll go back and kind of fix that as I go. I can check my empty space to see if that, right in here, is that the same shape? Not really. I didn't quite get that, so I might go back and make some adjustments and kind of figure out what that shape is supposed to be. Change some stuff up until I get more of an accurate empty space, like the shape that will help me identify the shape. So you can use this as well, of course, with your botanical drawings, and you should. I'm just going to draw the leaf really quick, just showing you the gesture really fast. So I would start with more of a rectangular. Looks like I'm just even marking off that green part before it gets to the purple part. And then the purple part would be more of a long, skinny triangle, right? So I'd use more of a long, skinny triangle. Now that's not exact, but I'm just kind of showing you how I would go back, and I would adjust that contour, make it a bit more round there. It's a bit more round on this side. Then it comes in and it gets really narrow and skinny here. So I'm gonna make an adjustment there to the narrow, skinny part so that I more accurately describe what the actual object looks like. And then I erase my geometry when I no longer need it. I might leave that there, but I'm gonna make it more kind of to show where the purple starts. I'm gonna make it more realistic. So use those 3G's, guys. It will help to make you more accurate in your drawing. Make sure that you erase out any stray marks. Make sure you don't use any shading. It's a contour line drawing. Make sure that you show me both interior and exterior details for your entire object. You should not be moving on to your line weight yet. Please wait to at least on your actual drawing. Only do the things that are numbered for today. You will begin tracing your drawing on Monday when I am with you again, so that I can talk you through the importance of using line weight.